Amber Green from Louisville Public Library. Today we're going to be doing some crafting, but I wanted to let you know we're going to have a grab bag the first Monday of every month. It's going to be related to the craft. There'll be supplies in there for you, and it will correspond with that Saturday's video. So this will be once a month, the first Monday of the month. Also, if you could leave a comment, we'd really appreciate it. It truly helps the library. Just let us know how many people are watching at home and if there's anything else you'd like me to do in the crafting videos or different crafts you'd like to see. Okay, let's get started. Hi, so today we're going to be making this cute little beehive. It's really fun, pretty easy, and I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to go through what you need to make this craft. So we're going to need a 1 liter bottle. You could also use a 2 liter, but if you use a 2 liter, you will need more of the rope that we're going to use to wrap around the bottle. So I have cut the bottom off, and then I've cut a little bit of the top off. As you can see, you're going to need some black duct tape, some rope, something for the bottom. You're going to want to cut in a circle. You could use some cardboard, like a cereal box, just anything. This is just paper, and we're going to be gluing that to the paper. A pencil or a pen to make your circle outline there, some scissors to cut your rope, and then some hot glue with glue sticks. For cutting this, I used a X-Acto blade and then some scissors. You could just use scissors, just be very, very careful when you're cutting this. Okay, so first let me show you the circle we're going to make. So you're just going to take whatever you're using, whether it's the cardboard, foam board, and you're just going to take your bottle and trace around it. I try to trace a little bit with leaving like a little bit of room, not totally exact. Leave a little bit of space around your circle. Okay, and then you're going to cut this out. I'll put this off to the side, and then we're just going to cut it out. You just need something for the bottom. Something that was cardboard, even like a cereal box, would work a little bit better than just paper, but the paper will still work. So I'm just going to be setting it on top of there and then gluing it. Since I have these pieces, I'm going to glue 2 together just to make it a little bit stronger. So I'm going to take my glue. And of course, if you're using cardboard, you will not need to do this because that will be plenty thick enough. Okay. So now just kind of set your bottle on top of there, and you're going to glue. So put glue, probably best to put it actually on the bottle versus the paper. Just carefully, just a line of glue all around. And then just set it on top of your circle there. Make sure it's glued down really well. Just give it a couple seconds to dry before you move it. I'm probably going to put a little bit of extra glue around it just to really secure it, which you might want to do as well. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. And grab some extra glue. I can tell I'm going to need some soon. Okay, so it's starting to dry. So now I'm going to take some extra glue and put it just around like the perimeter there. Just where that paper meets the bottle. Going to go all around here. I have a little bit of a gap on this side because, you know, when you cut your bottle, it's really hard to get it exactly straight, you know, your cut. So if that happens, you could just add some extra glue and it'll be fine. You won't even be able to tell once you're done. Okay, so now we can take some tape. You'll see where the tape is important later. If you don't have black duct tape, you could just use some, maybe some black paper, and then just tape it kind of around the bottle near the middle. You just need something dark in color in that middle part. So I'm going to be putting the tape about right here, where that, you see that label was there. This was a soda bottle, so the label on there. So then about the middle, put your tape down. Okay. And again, once we get our rope on there, I will explain why you need something dark there. Okay. So now I take some of my rope. I have some extra rope from a past project here, so this should be enough. This was the 9.5 foot rope from Dollar Tree. You could get rope anywhere. A Dollar Tree is obviously really expensive, so it's nice to get rope there. And they do have different sizes, the 9.5 and I think 14.5, I believe. So this piece, this is one that has been broken up. These are just 2 smaller pieces of rope, as because a normal piece has the 3 that are all joined together. This is just 2. So since this is 2 layers instead of 3, I want it to be a little thicker. So I'm going to kind of just tie this together a little bit. No, not tie it, but kind of form it together a little bit. So it's just a little thicker. And then I'm going to glue the ends just so that it will stay. So just put a little bit of glue on one end and then glue it together, kind of secure it, just so it won't, you know, unwrap from that kind of braid I've sort of done. And you won't have to do this most likely unless you really want a thick piece of rope. You could even use just regular rope that has not been taken apart and do the same thing and just make a really thick piece. Okay, so now that I have this piece, which again you will not probably have to do, you could just take your regular rope and do what I'm about to do here. I just wanted something thicker. So for this, take your glue and you're going to want to put the glue onto the actual rope, kind of generous amount, and then glue inside of your bottle. See? Now I'm kind of twisting this around a little bit. See how I kind of just twisted? And then this side is going to go on the opposite side of this where I've glued it, kind of directly across. So again, just do the same thing. Put the glue onto the rope. Get the glue in there. And then line it up. And put your glue side onto the inside of the bottle. So I'm just letting that dry. See, you have like a little loop there now. Okay. I'm just going to glue this end a little bit so it'll stay together here. So while this dries, I'm just gonna glue this end, let that sit. Check on this a little bit. These are about dry. Just don't want to, jostle them and rip them out. All right, so now take your longer piece of rope. This is all, just one piece of rope. I have not ripped it apart at all. It's 3 small pieces together. Now we're going to be wrapping around this top loop, and we're just going to go down, and then I'll tell you where to stop. So again, we're putting glue, trying to put glue on the rope versus onto the bottle itself when you do this. So I'm just going to put rope to rope. I have put a little bit of glue on this piece of rope, and I'm attaching it to this bottom part of this loop. Okay, so now put some glue on the other side of that loop and glue down, attach rope to rope. That rope that we're winding around, we want to attach to this other side of the loop. So both sides of the loop are beginning to be glued to this long piece of rope. And then just continue to slowly wrap this around. I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue onto the side of the bottle. Just in hopes that that will extra secure it. But for the most part, you're going to be gluing kind of rope to rope versus rope to bottle. So now that I have my rope on this very top part, I'm gonna let this dry just for a few minutes. We're gonna take a quick break and we will finish off the bottle. Okay, since our break, I have twisted my rope around more, as you can see. All you're doing when you do this process, when you get your top part done, you're just wrapping around and around and around, and you're gluing as you go. So I just wrap, then put a little bit of glue, wrap some more, put a little bit of glue, wrap some more. So now I'm getting close to my tape here. We're going to wrap around a few more times. So again, I just put glue more onto the rope itself than the bottle. And then I just fix it rope to rope, and then wrap around a bit here. And then I'm going to put some more glue. And then wrap again around, put some glue. Wrapping around, adding glue again. Okay, so now as you can see, I have kind of covered a little bit of that tape up. Soon I'm going to grab some more rope. I will show you why this tape was so important to put on at the beginning. So again, I'm just wrapping around, putting a little bit of glue, wrapping some more, putting a little bit more glue. Okay, so now I'm coming to about a stopping point here where we will need to cut. So, see where we're about, let's see, I want my middle, figure out where you want your middle to be. I want it to be like, you know, right here, kind of in line with that loop. So I'm going to stop my rope about right there. So go ahead and glue it really well. And then take your scissors and then trim that rope. Okay. So then just make sure to glue down those edges. I'm putting a little bit of glue kind of on top of it because it's, when you cut, you know, it gets frayed a little bit. So I put a little bit on top of the end. Pulling some of those pieces off there. So now I'm going to take this other piece, and you want to leave a gap in that middle part. So I'm going to start gluing about right there. Glue this piece down. Take your piece and then just set it there. Let that dry a couple seconds before we move on. So we're going to be repeating this process where we're leaving this gap. Okay, so now we're going to wrap around some more. So again, add your glue, wrap, go ahead and wrap it, then glue it. And then again, add some more glue, wrapping around. So we're adding glue, and we are coming to that stopping point again where we want that hole to be. So you can see. So now I'm going to just trim this piece of rope once again. And glue down this end piece. Some more glue. So as you can see, we're kind of starting that gap there. As that's drying, I am going to move on. I'm going to take this other little piece, so I don't want to waste any of my rope. I'm going to, on this side, do the same thing. So we're going to put a little bit of glue right here and take this piece of rope and glue this down. Just go along, do the same thing, you're wrapping and you're adding some glue, wrapping some more, adding some more glue. So I'm just going to take another piece of rope and kind of just attach it to this piece and do the exact same thing. I'm just going to keep repeating this process. I think I'm going to do it about 2 more pieces of rope. So one here, one here, one here, one here. And then we're going to finish off the gap. So we will take a quick break and I will be back and show you how to do that. Okay, so now we're ready to finish off the bottom half. So as you can see, I have left my gap, this middle part, in there, and you see how the dark tape has kind of made it look, you know, nice and dark, and you can't see the bottle. That's what you want. So now I have started to add rope to this bottom part, and we aren't going to leave a gap any longer. We're not going to be cutting anymore. So just as you did with the top, you're wrapping around, you're adding some glue, attaching, and then now again we're just gonna keep wrapping. Again, wrapping around, adding a little bit of glue. And okay, so this part, I've come to the end of this piece of rope, so I'm going to grab some more rope. Use this end, and then I'm just going to meet up these ends. This is the back part of my piece here, so I'm not too worried about what the back looks like. If it's kind of ugly, I'm really just focusing on the front. So if you have, you know, some pieces that look kind of frayed, or you can see where they're kind of joined together, don't worry about the look of that. Just add some more glue, and I'm wrapping around once again. Wrapping around, adding our hot glue. Just about done with this bottom part now. And once you kind of meet the bottom and you need to stop, go ahead and trim your rope. So you can see I've come to a stopping point, and I'm going to glue down this end really well. I'm gonna let that dry. See, so now it's really coming together. And there's just one last step we want to do. Okay, so we're gonna set that down. You're gonna take some of your excess rope, anything you have left over, and cut a little bit of that off. Just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be a certain size. It's really gonna depend on how big your gap is. I have this gap at the top that I want to fill and make look nice. So I'm going to take my rope. Now that I'm done, it's a little bit easier to fill this gap, I think, versus trying to do it at the beginning. So I'm going to start at the back of my thing here. I'm just going to add my rope, just glue it to this rope in the very back. Put a little bit of glue on there, set it down. So now it's really kind of looking like an actual hive, which is really nice. So I'm just wrapping around. So wrapping around this loop just to, you know, close that gap so you don't have this big hole in the top. So again, rope to rope, gluing down, putting some glue onto the top, and then just wrapping this around. So I'm just wrapping around and around and adding some glue. I'm going to do this a few more times. Grab some more glue. Keep in mind you will go through a bit of glue for this project. You need quite a bit. Even with the 1 liter bottle, I think I have gone through about 5 glue sticks, so just keep that in mind. So if you're doing the 2 liter bottle, you're going to need not only more rope, but plenty of glue. So I'm about done. I think I'm going to maybe trim this piece of rope, but I will have to see. Because I don't want to, you know, cover my loop, but I do also want to really make sure this gap is closed. I am about done here. I will end up trimming this piece of rope that I'm working with right now because it's going to be a little too long. Let's see here. Trim off a little piece, and then I'm just going to think, because I don't want to trim it in the front. I think I'm going to go around one more time and then trim it near the back here. So then just add some more glue to finish that piece off. And then this end piece you want to glue down. So one more bit of glue. Just going to let that kind of sit on there until it dries. Okay. So kind of just zhuzh it around. And then once you let this totally dry, so just give it a few more minutes, go around and take all of your glue bits that are kind of hanging out, rip those off, and then it'll look really cute, and you can kind of set it on a table somewhere. You can put some flowers with it. If you have like any pictures of like some bees behind it, just something really cute. All right, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Thanks for watching our video today. Join us again next week and every week on Saturdays for a crafting video. Also, again, there'll be a grab bag once a month on Mondays, the first Monday of the month, corresponding with that Saturday's craft. Again, please leave us a comment in this video. We'd really appreciate it. It helps us a bunch. And don't forget to stay safe out there.